Hello everyone. Thank you for returning to my channel. Each time we meet again, I want to bring you not only a story, but also a vivid journey, filled with love, tears, hope, and warm, simple moments. In the previous episode, after long days of separation and longing, Hung finally returned to Hoai's side. He not only held her fragile hands but also took her for a pregnancy checkup. Then came the unexpected joyful news confirmed by the doctor. A tiny life was forming inside Hoai's womb. The baby was already 2 months old. In that moment, Hoai's eyes sparkled with emotion, while Hung's heart overflowed with happiness mixed with responsibility. He understood that from this moment on, his life had one more reason to strive, to carry burdens, and to love even more deeply. And in today's episode, the story continues to unfold with many touching details. After hearing the good news, Hoai and Hung's life turned to a new chapter. They were no longer just two people patching together fragments of happiness, but now had truly become a small family with dreams ahead. Their following days were filled with both joy and hardship. Mornings when Hoai woke up with nausea, moments when Hung clumsily cooked porridge or picked vegetables to help, and Tony, the innocent little boy who didn't fully understand what was happening but always filled the house with laughter. Every simple moment, from humble meals with boiled vegetables, to afternoons spent together in the garden tending to the crops, became unforgettable memories. It was in these small things that love and connection grew stronger. Hung was not only the man in Hoai's life, but was slowly becoming a steady support for Tony, the child still yearning for a father's love. So, will Hoai truly find complete happiness with Hung? Will Hung be strong enough to both provide for the family and protect the woman he loves? And how will little Tony embrace this change? All of this will be revealed in today's episode. If this story touched your heart, don't forget to leave a comment with your thoughts, press like, and subscribe to the channel to support me. Every interaction from you is the motivation for me to continue bringing more touching episodes. Let's follow the journey of the single mother, Lythieuca, until the very end of the video. When Hung returned, Hoai's little house seemed to suddenly glow with warmth. It wasn't just because there was now a man around, but because of the tenderness of love, care, and genuine sharing after so many lonely months. Hung put aside his distant work, reminding himself that at this moment, the most important thing was not salary or outside responsibilities, but staying by Hoai's side, the woman he deeply loved, and caring for the tiny life growing inside her day by day. Every morning, before the rooster crowed, when the first sunlight only peeked through the bamboo hedges at the gate, Hung was already awake. He headed to the market with a sturdy bamboo basket in hand, carefully choosing bundles of fresh greens, pieces of meat, fish, eggs, and never forgetting the dishes Hoai craved during her pregnancy. The market folk laughed and teased, "Wow, such a skillful man at shopping. Must be because his wife's expecting, so he spoils her a lot." Hung only smiled gently and carried the basket home. Back in the small kitchen, he clumsily lit the fire, washed vegetables, and chopped meat. Thin trails of smoke curled upward, blending with the fragrance of freshly cooked rice, sweet vegetable soup, and braised fish. The quiet house suddenly felt unusually warm. Watching from behind, Hoai felt both surprised and touched. She had grown used to handling everything alone, but now, seeing Hung so attentive, her heart softened and warmed. Sometimes, Hoai still went out to the garden to weed, dig soil, or tend to the vegetables. Yet every time she stepped out and bent down, Hung would quickly grab the hoe, firmly holding her hand back, his voice tender but full of concern. "Leave this to me. You're carrying our baby, you need to take care of your health. Don't make me worry." Under the blazing sun, sweat dampening his shoulders, he swung the hoe with strong, steady strokes. Watching his diligent figure, Hoai smiled softly, her eyes brimming with gratitude. To be cared for, to be protected, something she once thought was out of reach, had now become her reality. And yet, amid these simple joys, Hoai also noticed the quiet shadow in Hung's eyes. His worries weren't only about farming or daily meals. At night, when the house was dark and only the moonlight slipped through the cracks of the door, Hoai pretended to be asleep. But she could feel it clearly, Hung still tossing and turning. He lay on his back, staring at the ceiling, his breath heavy with unspoken thoughts. He worried about her health, about the baby soon to be born. He thought about the future. When he returned to his distant job, would Hoai be able to endure being alone again? Would she once more feel hurt and lonely, as before? On some nights, Hung would gently place his hand on her belly and whisper as if making a vow. "My child, I will try my very best. I won't let your mother suffer another day." Silently, Hoai heard those words, her eyes welling up with tears. She knew in Hung's heart was burning a fierce determination, the determination to be a true man, a strong shoulder for her and their child to lean on. And in those quiet nights, Hung silently promised himself, at all costs, he would find a way to not only be a husband, but also a devoted father, a real support for their little family. That afternoon, the golden light of sunset bathed the little garden. Sunbeams filtered through the bamboo hedges by the gate, spilling onto the weed-covered path and casting soft shadows across the weathered wooden porch. Birds chirped in flocks, their voices mingling with the breeze rustling the leaves, creating a gentle symphony of the peaceful countryside. Hoai sat quietly on an old wooden chair, her hand resting gently on her belly, feeling the tiny heartbeat of life growing inside her. Her face showed traces of fatigue, yet it could not hide the tender radiance of a mother-to-be. A soft breeze swept by, lifting the hem of her simple brown blouse, making the whole scene even more serene. Hung stepped onto the porch, his gaze resting on her small figure. Slowly, he walked over and sat beside her. His rough, calloused hands, worn from years of labor, sought out her delicate fingers. He held her hand tightly, his eyes filled with both gentleness and resolve, as though he wished to pass all his strength into her. His voice rose, low and steady, each word carrying weight and sincerity. "Hoai, I promise I will always be by your side. No matter what happens, my love for you will never change. For the rest of my life, I will cherish and protect you. Even when we have our own child, I will love Tony as if he were my own son. I want you and the children to live happily, free from fear or the cruel whispers of the world." Hearing these words, Hoai trembled. Tears welled in her eyes and spilled down her cheeks, glistening in the sunset like morning dew on leaves. Her heart swelled with warmth and emotion. For all the years of hardship and loneliness, she had never dared to dream of such complete love, nor such an earnest promise. Hung kept his eyes locked on hers, as if searching for the unspoken words hidden within. He drew a deep breath and continued, his tone firm, his gaze lit with determination. "I know our finances aren't secure yet. Every coin we earn is spent carefully, with nothing to spare. But I don't want you to carry the label of a single mother forever. I don't want you and our child to face pity or gossip from the neighbors. I want to give you a rightful place, a true family. In my heart, I've always dreamed of a grand wedding, with banners, flowers, friends, laughter, and blessings. I want to see you in a pure white gown, walking proudly among cheers of joy. But I understand our circumstances now won't allow it. So, I've thought, at the very least, we can take wedding photos to capture this memory, and host a small, intimate gathering. We'll invite only our dearest, like Ha, his mother, your foster mother, and my sister, Tieu. They will be witnesses to our love. And one day, when our child is born, you can hold your head high and proudly say, I am Hung's wife. Hoai broke into tears. Happiness streamed down her face, dripping onto the hands Hung still held so tightly. She had never imagined he would plan so carefully, nor that he would set aside pride and poverty just to give her a rightful place. In that moment, everything seemed to pause. The breeze fell still, the birds quieted, and even the fading sunlight lingered a little longer to witness. All that remained were two souls seated together, a heartfelt vow spoken aloud, and a new beginning unfolding for their love and their little family. Hoai flinched slightly, her heart skipping a painful beat. She quickly shook her head, her voice trembling, her eyes clouded with worry. But, money is so tight right now, Hung. I don't want you to feel more pressure, I don't want you to suffer more just because of me. As long as you're here with me and the baby, that's already enough. She lowered her gaze, her fingers unconsciously clutching the hem of her blouse. Inside her, happiness from Hung's proposal still overflowed, but the weight of daily struggles, the endless worries about food and survival, kept her from daring to dream too far. She feared that even the smallest wish might become a burden for the man who was giving her everything. Hung silently looked at her. In the soft golden light of dusk, his face seemed carved with determination. He reached out and held her trembling hand firmly within his rough, warm palm. His voice rose, gentle yet unwavering, carrying the weight of a promise that could not be shaken. It doesn't have to be grand, Hoai. I'm not dreaming of anything far away right now. Just a few close ones, just a small gathering. What matters most isn't the banquet or the feast, it's you agreeing, it's you calling me your husband. That is the only thing I long for now. He paused, his eyes glowing with pure sincerity, hoping she would understand that her acceptance meant more to him than any lavish celebration. Hoai slowly lifted her gaze. Her tear-filled eyes met his resolute stare. Her heart quivered, and the fragile walls she had built around herself began to crumble. Little by little, her fears melted away before the earnest love he offered. Taking a deep breath, the corners of her lips curved into a faint smile, blurred by tears. Her voice, choked yet clear enough for Hung to hear every word, whispered, "Yes. I agree." In that moment, Hung squeezed her hand once more, his eyes shining with indescribable joy. Beneath the glowing sunset, the two of them sat side by side, hand in hand, as if they had just found a new anchor, a faith to carry them forward together on the long journey ahead. The next morning, when the sun was still shy behind the village bamboo grove, the narrow dirt road leading to town was veiled in a blanket of white mist. The sound of roosters crowed in the distance, mixed with the creaking of wooden wheels somewhere in the quiet dawn. Hung had risen early, busily preparing everything. He carefully folded a thin jacket and draped it over Hoai's shoulders, as if afraid a stray breeze might brush against her fragile frame. Helping her onto the motorbike, he kept reminding her, "Hold on tight, the road is bumpy, don't let yourself get tired." The village path was narrow and uneven, the wheels jolting in and out of potholes. Yet Hung never once let go of her hand. His palm, rough and calloused, held hers with a steady gentleness, as though to say, "No matter what, I'll always be here to shield you." When they arrived at the small bridal shop tucked on a street corner in town, Hoai froze for a moment. The wooden door creaked open, a thin white curtain swaying gently in the breeze. She hesitated. Her heart trembled, caught between nervousness, happiness, and a touch of fear. For years, she had thought she would never have the chance to wear a wedding dress, the very symbol of a woman's complete happiness. The elderly seamstress, her kind face lined with time, welcomed them with a warm smile. After studying Hoai for a while, she chose a simple white gown for her. No glittering stones, no extravagant train, just a pure, delicate design, like Hoai's own unadorned and gentle soul. The moment Hoai stepped out from the fitting room, time seemed to stop. Sunlight streamed through the window, casting a glow on her gown. Her hair was neatly tied, with a few soft strands framing her face. A touch of makeup brightened her features while preserving her natural softness and grace. Hung was stunned. His eyes widened, following her every step. His lips trembled, his heart bursting as though it might shatter from joy. He had never imagined this day would come, that he would see this woman in a wedding dress, that he would call her his wife. He didn't just see beauty, but also the unspoken sacrifices, the quiet endurance, and the strength that made her radiant in his eyes. His voice broke, trembling yet overflowing with love. You're so beautiful, Hoai. I never thought I could be this lucky. Hoai stood still, her cheeks flushed. Her eyes glistened with unshed tears, and a smile, blurred by emotion, slowly bloomed. She said nothing, only nodded gently. That smile, though damp with tears, filled Hung with a joy beyond measure. The photo session began. Against the modest backdrop of the small bridal shop, without grand stages or lavish props, each frame still carried profound sincerity. Hung gently wrapped his arm around her waist, his gaze never leaving her face. Hoai leaned her head on his shoulder, lips curved into a soft smile. In every photograph, there were both smiles and tears, the smiles of hope and the tears of past hardships. The old photographer quietly smiled as well, his eyes moist, moved by the humble yet boundless love before him. Each picture was more than a wedding portrait, it was a vow, a testament to a steadfast love. They were not just photos, but the beginning of a new home, a place where love would never run dry. When the final click echoed, Hoai lifted her gaze toward Hung. Her eyes shimmered with a happiness she had never known before, as if the whole sky had narrowed to nothing but his smile. Hung smiled back, lifting his hand to gently wipe away the tear at the corner of her eye. His voice, trembling like a lifelong vow, whispered, "For the rest of my life, I'll protect this smile for you." After the deeply moving wedding photo session, Hung and Hoai decided to invite their closest loved ones to a small gathering. It was not to be a grand wedding, but it marked an important beginning, a testament to the love they had nurtured and preserved together. The first people they visited were Ha and his mother. When the wooden door creaked open, Ha's mother was surprised to see the young couple standing at the gate, Hung holding a simple invitation card he had written himself in his clumsy handwriting. Hung spoke with heartfelt sincerity. "Hoai and I want to host a small celebration. Nothing big, but we hope you and Ha can witness it, so that she will no longer have to bear the name of a single mother." Tears welled in the older woman's eyes as her frail hands clasped Hoai's tightly. Choked with emotion, she said, "My daughter, at last, you found your happiness. I am so glad. I'll be there, and I'll bless you both." Beside her, Ha placed a firm hand on Hung's shoulder, pride shining in his gaze. "You've done the right thing. I believe you'll take good care of Hoai and Tony." Leaving Ha's home, they went to the little house where Hoai's foster mother sat sewing on the porch. When she heard the news, her gentle smile turned into one of tearful joy. Resting her wrinkled hand on Hoai's shoulder, she murmured, "My daughter, I've waited so long for this day. Finally, someone will love and protect you for the rest of your life. I'll be there to witness it." Their last visit was to Lythieuca. The moment her brother shared the news, she squealed like a child, her bright eyes brimming with delight. She threw her arms around her brother, then around Hoai. "I knew it. I always believed my brother would find someone who truly loves him. I'll prepare a special gift for you, sister." And on that day, I'll come early to help. At every stop, with each blessing they received, Hoai's heart grew warmer. Tears of happiness spilled down her cheeks, but this time, they were no longer tears of loneliness. They were tears of faith, of comfort, of love returned. And in just 2 days, the small but meaningful celebration would take place right in their own yard. No sky full of banners, no lavish banquet halls, only a simple country yard with bamboo tables and chairs, a few flower pots lovingly tended. But in that very place, a wedding would unfold, humble yet overflowing with love, witnessed by those dearest to them. A wedding without grandeur, yet in every hanging lantern, every shared laugh, and every blessing spoken, there would live all the love, faith, and longing for a home finally made whole. And so, today's story comes to a close in a mix of excitement and tenderness. All the hardships, all the storms that once seemed to wash everything away, have now paused at a new threshold, the threshold of happiness. After long days of loneliness and enduring countless whispers of gossip, Hoai finally has the chance to hold Hung's hand and walk together toward their most important day. Before them is not a lavish wedding with dazzling lights and flowers, but a small, simple gathering right in their own yard, a place where every brick and every wall holds memories of their journey. Yet it is in that humble space where love will be cherished, promises spoken with utmost sincerity, and joy shared among their dearest loved ones. Will Hung and Hoai's wedding celebration be as warm and complete as they hope? In that sacred moment, will Hoai be able to truly hold her head high, smiling radiantly in her white dress beside the man she has entrusted with her whole life? And will that simple happiness be strong enough to open a new chapter, the journey of a small family, where love, trust, and the bright laughter of children will flourish? All of this still lies ahead, like a door gently opening to let light pour in, sweeping away the shadows of the past. And we, who have followed this story from the very beginning, will wait together. Don't miss the next episode, where we witness the sacred moments of Hung and Hoai's wedding day, the day love is witnessed, promises are sealed, and true happiness begins.
Xin chào tất cả mọi người đã quay trở lại với kênh của mình. Hôm nay mình tiếp tục đưa đến với mọi người câu chuyện của mẹ đơn thân Lý Hoài Ca và cảnh sát Hùng. Mọi người thân mến, như mọi người cũng đã biết thì ở trong tập trước chúng ta đã xem thì Hùng và Hoài Ca thì Hoài Ca đã đang có bầu và anh đã trở về bên cô. Vậy thì liệu trong tập này Hùng đã quyết định là tổ chức đám cưới cho Hoài Ca, vậy thì hôn lễ sẽ diễn ra như thế nào và diễn biến tiếp theo của câu chuyện sẽ diễn ra ra sao thì mời mọi người đón xem ở tập tiếp theo. Và mình hy vọng rằng một hôn lễ thật là tốt đẹp sẽ diễn ra với hai người. Nếu như mà có thắc mắc gì cũng như là cần góp ý gì cho kênh thì mọi người có thể để lại ở phần bình luận giúp mình. Và mọi người ơi, nếu như mà yêu quý kênh mình thì hãy chia sẻ video đến những người khác, cũng như là hãy đăng ký kênh và bật chuông thông báo lên để không bỏ lỡ bất kỳ video nào mọi người nhé. Tạm biệt mọi người, hẹn gặp lại mọi người trong những video tiếp theo.